You might be wondering how advertising is going to get put into this AI world, and we're soon going to get into holodecks, which are 3D environments. That's for another day, but let's go into it. Advertising in LLMs. Who are you?
Yeah. How's it going, everyone? And hey, robots. Awesome chatting. I'm Jason, and co-founder and CEO of Nexat. And we are building the native ad system for the AI era.
All right, so I've been using AI just like everybody on in my world to talk to Chat GPT or Grok or Perplexity or Anthropic Cloud or Google Gemini. There's the whole, and if you're over in China, you're using DeepSeek or Baidu's new models to talk with it about everything. And I've been doing a lot of buying on AI. You know, I buy my tires on AI, find restaurants on AI, I get tours at Disneyland on AI. I do a lot of things like that. And I think that's going to be more and more people are going to use AI to do everything in their life if they have an impact, an intuition about something, they're going to talk to AI. But we don't see a lot of ads, and this it's a new world of talking to Chat GPT or Grok and about things. I don't see a lot of ads there. So how are you guys going to shape that up and get ads in there? And well, let's back up to 100,000 feet. What's happening in AI and ads?
Yeah, for sure. I think you give a very great high-level depiction. AI is taking over the world, not only in like enterprise products, all those agents, but also consumer world, where we increasingly use AI to get to know what's happening in the world, like it's taking over the search engine and all that. And ads, whenever there's consumer attention, people are using it, ads is just inevitable. Right? Like Google in the beginning, they don't know how to monetize. Facebook in the beginning, they don't know how to monetize. And gradually everyone use ads. So it's also inevitable that there will be ads in AI products. And our mission is to make the AI native ads feels good, right? We don't want, in the AI age, the ads to be intelligent, the ads to be actually helpful. We don't want the ads to be similar to the last generation of disruptive, like random banner that's hopped around your webpage, right? So that's the mission we're building towards, actually a good intelligent ad system for AI products. So how does it actually work, right? So basically, imagine you're talking with some AI chatbot, and you says, "Yeah, I don't sleep well these days. I'm so tired." And we understand you, and based on your profile, based on your contact with user query, we recommend your relevant product. Let's say there's a memory foam pillow that help you sleep better. There's like some scent thing that's create a more comfortable bedroom environment. We match those products. We seamlessly merge that into the conversation, right? The chatbot will say that, by the way, here the sponsored content that I think can help you a lot. Where like this sleep product can help you get better sleep and improve your energy during the day. So it will feel like talking to a friend. The ads is no longer random, disruptive, but it actually understands you because in the AI age, people reveal a lot of their preference and contact in the human AI interaction. So we actually know what the people are thinking. We actually know what their pain point is, and we are building a very intelligent AI native ad system to recommend product based on that. So on the high
Yeah.
level, this is the product we're working on. Yeah.
Now, I wrote a book on contextual software years ago, so I saw this world coming for a long time, where the system that's on your phone or on your laptop or on your glasses soon is going to really understand your context, right?
Yes.
But advertising has never been really truly contextual. I mean, when you go to Google and you say, I'm looking to buy a car, you might get a lot of car ads all of a sudden. But the second you go and buy a car, you still keep getting those stupid ads, right?
Yeah.
And this new world really has an affordance of being much more contextual about where you are, what you're doing, what your intent is, and satisfy that with ads. Do you agree or disagree? And how are we going to get these ads to be smarter this time so that they go away when we're not, after we buy something, right? And we've already made a purchase decision, and they show up when we are having a new purchase decision. You know, hey, I want to go on vacation next summer. Okay, that's a good time to bring in some advertising for airplanes and hotels, and certainly if it's contextual, like, hey, I'm going to go on vacation in Greece next year, I want to see ads from Greek hotels, right? And planes that go to Greek. I don't want to hear about El Al who goes to Saudi Arabia. I want to hear about things that are contextually relevant to me at that point. How, are we going to get there this time?
Yeah, I think we're much, much closer, right? And this is due to some fundamental technological shift. Um, for example, I can give you a simple example of how our technology is improving this toughness of product. Um, let's say there is like a college student asking a math problem. That math problem features some ancient Greek philosopher and talking about stuff, right? Some dumb contextual ads will be recommending some history book, a philosophy book about the ancient Greek philosophy and all that. But what that student actually wants is not the simple semantics of the problem, right? The math problem involving ancient Greek philosopher. It's actually a math problem solver, or some online AI math tutor that can help them to answer this question, right? So those kind of inferred intent cannot be made by just simply doing keywords match or then understanding things on the surface in a very shallow way. And this is exactly what we're building. Right? Our ad engine can absolutely analyze and making reasoning and inference on it, right? So like if the user asks, I have been to Greece, right? Well, where should I go next? Our ad engine will actually use LM and the reasoning capabilities to infer that, even though the user mentions Greece and the user is asking where to go next, you should not recommend them like an airline ticket to Greece. I should recommend the airline ticket to Turkey or France, right? So this kind of reasoning is exactly what this latest generation
Or
of AI
maybe stay
technology.
quiet until the thing evolves a little bit more, or give you ads for travel guides. Hey, go pick your next place because there's
Yep,
some really good software travel
exactly.
guides.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly something like that.
Yeah,
But you see how these cannot be done by the last generation of simple dump contextual ads. You must use a reasoning capability, which is not really a thing. Actual generalized machine reasoning capability is not a thing before this Gen AI wave. And so
yeah.
this is exactly what the technology has enabled us to do.
So I spoke at the first Google advertising conference. So that's one reason I'm talking to you. I know a little bit about advertising, and I was the only Microsoft employee to be invited to speak there, by the way.
Wow.
Um, but while I was there, I learned that distribution is really what matters. Why did Google become such a huge company? Well, they had users searching on Google for things, and then they almost went out of business. Remember, before Bill Gross sold them the ad engine that brought the ads to where the crowd was, right? How
Mhm.
are you going to get your ad engine into OpenAI or Grok from XAI or Perplexity or Google Gem? Well, Google's probably not going to use you, I would assume.
Yeah, this is very fair, right? And Gemini probably it will be hard for us to get in, because Google have a very established ML and probably don't want other people to touch their core business, right? I would say we have a much higher likelihood to ChatGPT, Claude, or many other smaller companies' products, but still it will be tough. I think our thesis is that we believe the future of AI consumer app will be a whole array of different applications rather than one product dominating, right? So we
Yeah, because
compare the act.
ChatGPT, you're right on point. ChatGPT is built underneath thousands or many thousands of apps. I used a travel planner. There's chat gpt underneath, as the engine for their chatbot, right? You go to gmail, they have Gemini underneath it, right? So you're right
Yeah,
that we probably won't go to chat gpt all the time
yeah,
to interact with an ai.
100%. And I believe there are some deeper forces that make the whole field more fragmented. And the first is that the technology itself, the LLMs and all the Gen AI models, are very commoditized and increasingly open. Everyone, it's very very easy for anyone to build an AI application at an instant. I mean, I can hack together a simple AI search engine over a weekend. Right, all the technology is super democratic right now. All the models are open source, so it's greatly lower the barrier to build AI applications. And also, secondly, what we are seeing is that this latest generation of Gen AI applications have less of a network effect than the last generation of internet platforms. Right. So when you use ChatGPT, let's compare ChatGPT with, let's say, YouTube. Right. The more people use YouTube, the better it will get. Right. Because um, all the content creators will upload their video to YouTube because they know all the viewers are there, and all the viewers they know all the content there. So it's like creates a natural monopoly scenario. There will only be one YouTube of a general video platform of the world. But for ChatGPT, it's different. I mean, right now I use four chatbot apps simultaneously, right? Like Grok, ChatGPT, Anthropic, Claude, and DeepSeek. And each of them is good at different things. And and also me using ChatGPT does not benefit you for using ChatGPT. We are interacting with the underlying LLM separately. So they also, from those fundamental forces, I conclude that this market mechanism is more like a mobile games where one developer make a game where each player play with like the single player game individuals as compared to people sort of pool together their content. Right. And we know in mobile games, the third-party ad network is a big thing. Like we see companies like AppLovin, right? So, and we want to position ourselves as the AppLovin for the Gen application.
Yeah, this is real interesting. I was lucky enough to go around the world to 80 different countries and meet a lot of people who did advertising. I went to Australia and met with the Telstra phone executives, and they told me, "Oh, if we're not meeting our quota at the end of the quarter, we'll." One guy told me, "I just pop open a bottle of wine and start buying ads on Facebook." To cell phones, right? And starting to write the ads. Well, that's a region, right? But another guy in Brazil who owned a taco truck, and he had three logos on the truck, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and stuff like that, right? You see a lot of food trucks like this with these three logos on them. He wanted to only he had a line out of his taco truck, and he told me he buys ads just to reach the local consumer in Brazil in his neighborhood to tell people, oh, the taco truck is here, right? And is your system going to satisfy all these different needs to get to different demographics and different contexts and different locations, right? Because a taco truck guy in Brazil doesn't want to advertise to somebody who lives in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. To be totally honest, like a taco truck owner, probably not the perfect ideal set of advertiser
Well,
that's
he might have a
benefit the
chat
most.
bot on. He might have a chat bot on his taco truck. Right?
Yeah, that can totally be the case. Um,
But
so
his
we so
consumers are where I'm going with this. His consumers are going to use first chatbots, and then we'll get into the futuristic stuff that's coming. But they're using Chat GPT or Microsoft Bing or whatever to interact with the world, and they want to see ads. Well, they might not want to see ads, but they're going to be shown ads that'll get them to go to the local taco truck, right?
yeah, yeah, 100%. So we
So
do
your system
support.
has to serve the ads contextually, based on location, based on demographics, right? You're
Yeah,
building an ad network, right? Like you're like Mark
yeah,
Zuckerberg.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully we can be, something as big as Facebook, but I wouldn't say I'm Mark Zuckerberg right now. That would be too arrogant.
Well,
Um, but
Mark, I mean, I remember when Instagram first got bought, Instagram had no sales, no revenues. And a lot of
mm,
people said that's not worth $1 billion. I said it's worth $100 billion because Mark Zuckerberg had an ad network like what you're building, that he could
yes,
hook up to that and get ads into Instagram and collect a lot of money. And that's proven to be true, right?
100%, 100%. Yeah, so we are supporting many of these targeting rules. We know where the users are located based on their IP address. We know some of their conversations, so as to have their profiling system. But we are doing it in a very privacy conserving way, right? Like when Google do this, Google actually puts like third-party cookies onto your browser. So even though you're not on Google, Google knows what you're doing, right? So that's not compliant to the user's privacy, but we are only using first-party information. Right? If you're using this chatbot, we're collecting your interaction history with this chatbot, and we use that to improve your experience for you on this chatbot per se. But it's not like third-party cookie that track your behavior all across the internet.
Yeah.
And because of the user's interaction history is rich and contextual informative enough, with only first-party data, there's a lot we can do with it and to make the ad experience much, much better. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And we
I'm
do support,
already I'm already using ChatGPT and Grok to get tours of cities. I mean, both of these tools know everything about Las Vegas. You want to find a play, you want to find a nightclub, you want to find a restaurant, you want to find a hotel. They know not only if you tell them where you are, hey, I'm at the Bellagio, what's there to do? It can talk to you about that, right? It has a
yes,
world model built into it. That's
yes,
very
exactly.
different than Google was.
Yes, I think this system is very different from Google. Right? Google is more like indexing the whole internet constantly, but it does not have the actual reading and understanding to it. And ChatGPT, it's this information is not that up to date, but with the real time web search capability and this reasoning capability, it's doing something that's much more powerful than the raw Google search.
Yeah, this is real interesting. What's your business model? Because I see website owners are putting chat bots into their website, so you probably want your ad network to show up in their little their little chat bot, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
So
then we have the big players, the Chat GPTs and the Groks and the Perplexities and the Anthropic Claudes. You probably
yeah,
want your ad network in that as well, right?
yeah, yeah. So our current business model is more like a revenue sharing model with the publishers because we help publishers make money, right? So for every $100 we help them make, we take a small cut from it as our commission, because we allow them to more effectively and more non-disruptively to do the ads, and we take a bit of technology commission fee from that, from all the revenue share. So for publishers who want to work with us, there's no commitment, right? Like we don't charge anything. We help you make money, and after you make the money, we make money. So
Got it. What can you give me a demo of what these ads would look like in a corporate chatbot kind of context?
yeah, I would love to. So should I
And,
share my screen?
and also, let's say Coca-Cola has a chatbot on their homepage, and you put ads into that chatbot. Can the owner of Coca-Cola say, "Hey, don't be advertising any PepsiCo"?
Yes, I mean, this is actually many of our publishers are doing. They don't want to show certain lines. I mean, a more common theme would be, some, teenager facing chatbots, they don't want to show adult product, right? It's something that's similar in the approach. And we can do it in a very effective way because our analytics engine, we know what the actual content of the chatbots. And we don't rely on advertising to report that we don't want to advertise to the teenagers. We can actually analyze the content to see whether they're against our
So
content
I would
policy.
assume you have a dashboard for the Coca-Cola or a big company or any
Yes.
company when
Yeah.
they're going
Any
to put
advertiser.
ads in their chatbots that they would be able to prompt to it and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
please don't put any PepsiCo ads, don't put any porn ads, right?
Yeah,
Or whatever,
yeah,
their
yeah. It's because
restrictions
right
are.
now it's not exactly like chatbot, but we definitely support things like that.
Okay.
Maybe let me show a little bit of demo.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully it's first time doing a live demo on the recorded
Yeah.
setting.
No,
Yes,
you can share
very
the screen and hopefully we see your screen soon.
very very exciting stuff. Let me share my screen right here. So it will not be a
Eh,
corporate
There
chatbot.
we
It will
go.
be one of our publishers, a consumer-facing chatbot, an
Okay.
IaaS, which is an awesome AI search engine that everyone should definitely try. Let's ask the question. Although I might not be the target person, but let me say, I want some address, right? And so it will be, the AI search engine will generate the content first. Let's wait until it finish. And the sponsored content section is actually our real-time generated ads. Yeah, let's take some time for it to load. Okay, looking for perfect summer dress. Check out the stunning Grace Karen Woman's 2025 summer floral boho dress. And there's a link. So this is the real-time generated ads we're putting. And we indicate that this is sponsored content. But since the ad creative is being generated in real time, it feels like very natural. It's not like some banner that's disrupting user flow. It's actually very helpful, relevant suggestions. And that's an effect we want to achieve. And the user can just directly click the link. If they actually buy it, we get paid. Yeah.
So if I'm on a bot like this and I ask it, hey, I need lunch today, and I live in San Jose, California, you could have different kinds of food restaurants underneath, and it would all be contextual. Because I don't want to see an ad for a dress, right? When I'm
I'm
looking
sure.
for
Just it's a
food.
demo here. Um, right now, we don't have those localized ads there because
Okay.
on internet advertising in general, it's mostly for e-commerce, for consumer software that's more globalized, right?
Yeah.
For localized ads, is typically show up more on, let's say, Door app like DoorDash, or more like Google Map. So
Yeah.
it's like different focus. But of
Yeah.
course,
But
as
here's
we
where I'm going is, well, I'm not in 5 years, I'm not using DoorDash. I'm using something that I talk to and say, I need lunch delivered, right? And then
yes.
it'll come back and go, what do you want for lunch? I want a hamburger. Then it'll go to DoorDash for me and come back and say, hey, I have I have 3 services that can deliver you a hamburger.
Hmm.
DoorDash is your favorite. You want the usual kind of hamburger that you got last time, right? And that's when I want to see your ads, and say,
Yes.
oh, there's a new hamburger place, or vendor A is giving me a deal today because they want to win my business, something like that, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
is that
We're
where
gonna
you're
work hard.
going? You're going to
Yes,
go
one hundred
more and more
percent.
and more
We are keep
contextual.
expanding to different types of
Yeah,
advertisers and keep improving the content understanding engine, and we will get there soon. Stay
yeah.
tuned. Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense to me, because this is a new world where I buy everything on AI. I don't go to apps anymore. I don't think people
Yeah.
understand how deep this is going to change how people buy everything, right?
Yes.
And this is why
Yes.
Google is at threat of being disrupted, because I'm not going to Google anymore. I'm
Yes.
using ChatGPT or Grok to do everything.
Yes. No, this is the future we are building towards, and it
Yeah,
requires a much more intelligent, much more contextual ad engine that can cover everything. Hundred
yeah.
percent agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about futures, right? Because soon we're going to have a pair of glasses on it, let's say 3, 4 years from now, and we're going to have a virtual agent, a humanoid looking thing in the room, or a little thing on my screen, and I'm going to talk to it, and it's going to talk back, and it's going to be able to show me things, and it's going to be in 3D. Are you already thinking of, like, that's where you're going to take your company? Tell me a little bit about your vision of the company, I guess, is
Yeah,
where,
that's a good question.
because the
So
world is about to really change.
I
Uh,
know it's
yeah,
insane. It's actually crazy. Um, so the
we're gonna have
ultimate vision
virtual
we're
beings. We're gonna be talking to virtual beings. I'm gonna be talking to like a digital chef. Hey, where should I go for lunch today? Right. Well,
Ooh,
now all of a sudden it's gonna answer me with voice. Well, do you have a voice ad?
Yeah. Right now we don't, but it's in the roadmap. So our thesis is that all the content we humans consume will gradually moving from human generated content to AI generated content. But the content can be in multiple media. Right now is chatbots,
Yeah.
text, some image. In the future, of course, there'll be generated videos, there'll be generated audio as a major dominance form, generated 3D content, everything you can imagine, right? And the content will be different from the last generation of human generated content. It'll be very interactive. It'll be generated in real time. We'll have, user just not will not just see the media, will interact with the media. So that's like a major mindset shift. And basically, we are building the assistant for AI generated content and to explore what the best way to do ads on this new form of media to balance between monetization and user experience. So that's sort of the ultimate vision we're building towards. And it's not does not definitely does not restrict ourselves to the chatbot ads we're doing. Let's say in the future, the podcast, you talk to a voice agent and the voice agent will just recommend your product as a friend, right? It will the experience will be different from the text or image things, and we'll do a lot of native innovations there. But across all these medias, there are two things that are shared. One is a contextual understanding engine. We actually want to understand in this very interactive new content format what the user is actually thinking. And we'll use that information to match them the things that you actually find useful and relevant. Right. That's first. And the second thing is that we personalize the ads in real time. Advertisers no longer need to tailor their ads, personalize the ads, like to spend a lot of manual labor to work on it. What kind of ad creative? We will just do all these, but based on the massive amount of data we have, we're going to do it more intelligently and more personalized. Yeah. So that's sort of the long-term goal. Like we want to
Yeah.
build the ad system for all AI generated content.
Working in a retail store, I learned that humans have a pattern of buying, a journey of buying. They
Mm,
uh, back to the going to Greece for vacation next summer, right? My first buying choice is not going to be what restaurant I'm going to go to in Greece. It's going to
mm.
be, can I get a flight, right? And so the first time I say I want to go to Greece on vacation, I should see advertising about flights. Once I buy a flight, and it'd be interesting to watch if you can watch the user buy that, right? And go, okay, click, you bought the flight. Now let's talk about hotels, right? Oh, you buy a hotel. Now let's talk about what to do, right? There's things to see, like museums and shows and restaurants and stuff like that. Do you agree with that? And how is your system going to track a user as they go through a buying tree like that over time? Because I'm not going to do this all in one night with my wife, right? It'll be months where I'm talking to it about different things, about Greece, right? Going on vacation. And so, do you track the users' uh, preferences and buying choices so that you can get an ad in the user's face at the right time and not bother them after they've bought a plane ticket, for instance? I don't want to see ads for airlines after I've already bought my flight. I want your system to know, okay, he bought a flight, now let's talk about hotels.
Yeah, yeah. We do have a history of the user build out in a very privacy preserving way. So we know what type of ads we have in the past, and we make inference based on that, right? It will be like you're talking to a friend. The friend will remember what you guys were talking about, and the whole experience will be much better because compare with you're talking like browsing on TikTok, browsing Instagram, browsing Google, they don't have this granular understanding of the whole user journey, but we do. And from chatbots, that we are actually able to build out this very granular user journey and to optimize based on that. Of course, it will not be perfect, right? If you do something outside of the chatbot, we have no clue to know.
Yeah,
But as more and more human AI interaction happen, I think that's sort of the general direction we're heading towards.
yeah. Um, Today, if I say I'm buying a car, um, uh, it starts bringing up ads across the web, right? Because Google has put that cookie on so many things so that I go over to a restaurant site and I'm seeing an ad for a car. I go to a hotel website and I see an ad for a car. I go to some other information site, I see an ad for a car. And in fact, they even track the location of the user. So if I went to a car dealership and got close to it, I am walking in to maybe buy a car, there's new ads that say, don't go in there. Come over to Joe's auto place and buy a car here and we'll give you $500 off. Right. Uh,
Hmm, hmm.
is that sort of the thinking you have, that you're going to be operating ads in all these different places so that you can really get much more interactive as a user goes to different websites and uses different chat bots, and someday soon have glasses on that they're talking to a virtual being?
Yeah. So this is something that's you're talking about, like whether we sync all the different data from different products, right?
Yeah.
Um, this is a tricky problem because sometimes it's like it's not doable. Like
Yeah.
the user, based on all the privacy constraints, we want to respect all the user data ownership and all the legal stuff. So sometimes it's not necessarily doable. But when they're doable, we try to create the best ad experience out there. So the constraint is not really on us; it's really on the user, whether they opt into something like that, and
Yeah.
the legal, the data privacy laws. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. I mean, OpenAI, ChatGPT. I was in South Carolina and I asked it, "Where's the painted houses?" Well, first of all, they're not called painted houses; they're called Rainbow Road there, but it's a row of painted houses, a tourist destination, right? And ChatGPT said, "Oh, they're in." Actually, I was asking Apple Siri, and it said, "I need to ask that question to ChatGPT because I don't know how to answer that question." So I hit OK on my phone, and then it said,
Hmm,
"Oh,
hmm.
those." It came back with an answer from ChatGPT saying, "Oh, those are in New Orleans and San Francisco." And I was like, "No, I'm not in New Orleans or San Francisco. I'm asking about South Carolina." Right. And as soon as I said that, it gave me the right answer. But
Mm.
even ChatGPT isn't getting the location from the phone. I, how are you going to help people as they're talking to these things on their phone, walking around the world, if even ChatGPT can't get the actual location of them? Because we know
Yeah.
you're about to come out with a map, right? These have world models, they understand the world. If you tell them what intersection you're at, they can tell you everything about what's around you, right? And that's a perfect place for advertising, because if I say I'm in South Carolina in front of the Rainbow Row, I'm hungry, well, that's a great place for an ad, right? Hey, there's Joe's hamburger shack just down the street, right?
Yeah, I think based on the type of products we're working with right now, the most common queries are more similar to uh like search engines or online advertising stuff. So the scenario you said, like people more interact with apps like Map, like DoorDash, or those are local life applications. And we are focusing, because right now that happens that most of the AI apps applications are more like a more online native thing. So people talk about knowledge questions, they talk about travel plans. For local restaurant recommendation is not something that we're seeing a lot in the queries right
Not
now.
yet, but you will.
Not yet, not yet. As we will definitely develop features like that, like as you described, as the user behavior shift. But right now, it's not the majority of the user
Yeah.
behavior we're seeing. Yeah.
I study always where are users going, not where they've been or where they are, right?
Hmm,
So
hmm.
that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking these questions, because I want to understand how you look at location, because ads are going to be integrated into chatbots soon. And I'm using ChatGPT for everything. I am not going back to going to Google and going to Siri because it's so good. But I do have to tell it where I am. But once I tell it
Hmm,
where I am, it's so amazing. It found me a screw in a Lowe's,
hmm,
for
hmm.
instance. It told me
Yeah.
how far down an aisle, what aisle it's on. It has a world model, and that is going to be a very powerful thing for advertisers.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. and this is where we're gonna roll out next.
Okay. So you don't have a
Yes.
location-based system today. That it comes
No.
someday. Okay.
Yep.
So right now you're going after corporate websites where they're putting a chatbot in a corporate website. A customer comes in, talks to it, and then they would get an ad.
It's more like a consumer facing AI products. Like I asked you, you can think of it as like a AI version of Google. So
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure about corporate what a corporate website means, but it's like consumer
Well, a
facing
website.
type app.
You go to Coca-Cola, there's a chat bot. You go to United Airlines, there's a chat bot. You go to cnet.com, there's a chat bot, right?
This is not the primary inventory that we're operating. For example, for United customer support, because United Airlines they have their own business model. They probably don't want to put external ads into it. And our ads engine basically supports like you can put any ad in the world in that. So it operates best in terms of like purely consumer facing products with a lot of traffic, also monetize that traffic. Like for United, they have a lot of traffic, they're consumer facing, but they don't want to monetize the traffic itself. They want to monetize people actually buying a plane ticket. It's sort
Yeah.
of like a bit different the business model. Yeah.
But they don't have restaurants. And if you're at United buying a plane ticket to Greece, maybe United would like to have hotel ads
Yep,
and
yep. I mean, if you
restaurant
know United,
ads.
people would love to chat about whether we can do some collaboration. Yeah,
Yeah. So you're going to have a
yeah.
corporate arm. Maybe I should come and work on corporate sales.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There can definitely be some interesting collaborations there.
Cool.
Mhm.
What else do we need to know about this advertising world that's coming? It's changing. Technically, how does let's say an app developer has a chat bot as part of their app, or right? How do they integrate you so that there's ads on their app and they can start making more money off of ads in the chat bot?
Good question. So it's very, very easy. Like for most of the web apps we will talk to integrated with us, it takes less than an hour to integrate. So it literally is a few lines of JavaScript code or coding, whatever language you're using.
Yeah,
Put it into your app, put it into the front end, done. We handle everything other than that.
very
On the
cool.
formatting, we make ads that visually looks very harmonious with the whole page, and we make sure that it is relevant. Yeah, and all that.
That's cool.
Mhm.
A highly personalized world is appearing, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. That's a very good way to understand it. And it's
Yeah,
personalized not only, it's even more personalized than TikTok. It's more personalized than personalized feed. You're not only personalizing the feed, you're also
uh,
personalizing the content itself. The content itself is being generated by AI in a way that's personalized to you. So
yeah.
it's like absolutely truly.
This is why I'm asking so many questions about location, because if I walk in with a phone and a chatbot on my phone to a shopping mall, I walk in the front door of a shopping mall, you don't know yet what store I'm going to, right? All you know is the user entered into a shopping mall. I'd love to see an ad pop up for different stores in the mall,
Hmm.
right? And if that is possible, the stores in the mall will buy a lot of ads from you because they know they can talk to the people walking in the front door and
Hmm.
convince them to come over to their store, right?
Hmm.
Hey,
Hmm.
today we're having a 20% off sale of whatever dresses or whatever. Come in our store, right?
Yep. Yep. Totally. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to call you back in a year when you launch your location system.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Sounds
Tell
good.
me a little bit
Yeah.
about your company and you know, I think you're just getting funded. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in your company right now.
Yeah, yeah. We just raised a seed round by A16Z, by Point72 Ventures, Prosus, and many other top tier VCs in the Silicon Valley. And we're growing very fast. Right now we're a very lean team of 6 people. There are ex-founders who raised millions and scaled to millions of users. Ex-senior architect at big ad tech companies. We have researchers from top AGI labs, one of the most famous one in the Silicon Valley. And yeah, we're recruiting some more awesome people. So it's a truly exciting and stellar team, and very honored to work with them. And on business side, it's growing very fast. Yeah, we plan to grow on the order of magnitude for the rest of the year. And yeah.
Yeah, totally makes sense because Bill Gross sold his company to Google, and that was the ad network part of Google.
Yeah.
And so it totally makes sense that we need an ad network as part of this new AI world.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
it wouldn't shock me if an OpenAI or a Perplexity or somebody or an Anthropic buys you, or at least does a major licensing deal with you. So I understand why Andreessen Horowitz would want to put money in on you. So,
Yeah, yeah. Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
yeah. Well, execute well and it should go well, right?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Are you thinking of
And
the robot world at all? We're about to see autonomous cars really change how we buy things in the world. You see the Waymos up in San Francisco; they're everywhere, and now you have a captive audience in autonomous cars, mostly on their phones. Are you thinking about new ad products that are going to be introduced for that? And then, a few years later, we're going to see a lot of robots in our businesses and in our homes. And I,
mhm.
I see a whole change for consumers when a humanoid robot gets accepted in the home, even if that's 10 years from now. That's going to radically change how we buy things. Um, are you thinking about that at all, or is that for another day?
Yeah, this is something we are thinking about, not actually working on these. As long as there is human AI interaction and real time generated content, we can put ads in it. 'Cause that's what our technology enables, right? If there's some sort of intelligent agent in the car, or you want to chat with your home bot, yeah, of course, there's no
Yeah.
reason we cannot work with that. The exact deal, like, it depends on what the form of the robot, what kind of company operator, what their business model. But yeah, I'm sure there will be new ads format and ad business models coming out of this, the entirely new human AI interactions.
Yeah. Tesla has XAI, so I assume they're not going to use you. They'll have their own ad network, or at least attempt to make one like you are.
Hmm.
But there's lots of other car companies in China and around the world that are going to need an LLM in the car for the people in the car to talk to,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so you can come in with ads as you're talking in the car. But again, it gets down to location, right? If
Hmm.
you're in the
Hmm.
car, what are you doing? Hey, take me to In-N-Out. That's when you need an ad, right? Take me to the
Yes.
Apple store at the shopping mall. That's when you need an ad. Hey,
Yeah.
Grok, or hey, ChatGPT in the car. We were going to the museum in San Francisco. That's when you need
Hmm.
an ad, right?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's totally.
I see a
Yeah.
big
I love
future
your
for you
vision to the
anyway.
world. Yeah. 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 Totally.
You can
Awesome.
see how this whole world is going to shift because we're not none of these use cases I'm talking about have anything to do with going to a web page on Google, right?
Hmm. Hmm. A
It's talking to an AI. AI can
very
generate.
different interaction. Very different interaction format. Yeah.
You have a huge future, is what I predict.
Thank you
So,
so much. Yeah. We
anyways, where
believe
do
so.
we learn
Yeah.
more about it? I talk to the developers. How do they find your API to hook you in so that they can start making money with their game or their chatbot or whatever?
Yeah, for sure. Just go to nex.ad. That's our main website. The website nex.ad, that we have this new .ad top level domain, and my personal email, our contacts are all out there. So everyone who wants to learn more about us, feel free to visit our website. We're also on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and all these platforms.
What's Twitter?
I think X.
I do
So
too. I've been on X or Twitter for 18 years now. It's still in my head. Thank you so much
yeah.
for talking with me. This,
Thank you so
you
much,
know,
Robert. It's just such a
it's not a
pleasure.
sexy thing. I know people hate ads, but you're gonna get ads anyways because that's how developers get paid in this world where everybody wants everything for free, right?
Yeah,
And ads are hugely important for subsidizing services and
yeah,
getting developers paid so that they can make
exactly,
better things for all of us. So thank you so much.
exactly, exactly. Perfect. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Take care.